Hi Soul Fam, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel, Spiritual Dowsy. I'm Dowsy LeMay. I hope all of you beautiful Soul Fam, brothers and sisters, are doing good wherever you are in the world. And if you're not, I'm sending you a big virtual hug of love and light. Anyone who's new, welcome to my channel. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this. And I hope it resonates with you. And if it doesn't, leave it. These just happen to be my truths, mine alone. They don't have to be yours. Okay, so today's video, we are doing the October Energy Update 2022 here. We are coming off a very profound, intense, and huge September month. For many of you, I'm sure you probably felt the energies that were happening on the planet. The Schumann resonance was intense. The sun activity was intense. The collective energy was very intense, which in the microcosm within us was very intense as we were being bombarded with all sorts of life stuff in the retrograde energy. So the things that were happening collectively, if you didn't watch the news, big things transpired, right? We had the geopolitical strife and turmoil and deterioration that was happening, such as the Iran issue that's going on, the Russia, Ukraine, and I would say the Eurozone and the rest of the world geopolitical issues, about the recent pipeline that was sabotaged recently, and how about the FBI raids on certain political figures, or the Italy elections that went in a different direction via the people? Or how about the Queen of England, the Queen's death, which marked a massive shift in the collective. As we've seen since her death, there's just been so much turmoil happening. The markets being very volatile, the markets deteriorating, and we're seeing a massive correction at the moment. We just had a massive hurricane that just came through, I believe Hurricane Ian, that came through over Florida and has caused massive destruction. Many blessings and light and love to those who are experiencing that. And then we've had earthquakes, massive shifting in the earthquakes and what's happening on the planet ourselves. Now, if we bring that individually, maybe this transpired for many of you in the idea of health issues. I talked about this in September. If you had disharmonious energy, you had energy that was at diseased, the likelihood is that they was going to manifest in some type of health condition. Maybe that came up as a cold, or maybe some upper respiratory thing, or just some type of physical thing that happened with you that really made you look at yourself and brought up all these emotions that needed to be harmonized so that you can look at yourself and find a little more peace, joy, and love in your life. Okay. So definitely a very intense September. That was just a few things that I thought were really, really profound. And maybe for all of you, you guys had a difficult month. And if that was the case, feel free to share. Leave what you felt in the comments. The numerology for October is around a 1. All right. This is because we're dealing with the number 10, right? 10 breaks down to a 1, and that brings about the energy of new beginnings. This is fresh starts, okay? Fresh and new ideas, new inspirations, new movement, new direction. And that is combined with the overall energy of the year to bring it to a 7. 7 is about truth. This is about harmonizing towards the truth. So I expect paradigm shifts to occur with new truths that lead to new things or new directions or new breakouts in truths that shift your entire, I'd say, being or direction in action in a different manner that is better suited for you as going forward. What are the astrology events that are going to aid the numerology? Well, we have Mercury going direct in Virgo. Okay, we're coming out of the retrograde energy of the 6 planets in retrograde, and some of them are starting to go direct this month. Mercury it goes direct in Virgo. This is really making practical steps towards your goals and better communication and clarity. Okay, so this is going to give you this fresh sense of moving forward and making steps towards your goals, making steps towards what you want in life, things that are in line with your passions and your joys, and you're going to be able to make those fresh steps as these planets go into direct. That includes, like, Pluto and Saturn. Those are all forward movement sensation rather than the step back messiness that we had in September, okay? Another event that's going to happen is the full moon in Aries. This is a fiery energy embodiment that we will be imbued with at this time for us to stand for our truths. It is this fiery energy that's going to really make us stand up for ourselves, to stand up for who we are and what is authentic and true for ourselves, and to set those boundaries as we go forward. Hopefully you've done a little bit of inner work. You were more observant through this time period of September, and now you kind of have shifted things around and know a little bit more about yourself, cleared things out, gotten through some of that step back and clarity, and now you're able to move forward with more of this fiery energy to imbue and hold your truth and know what is right for you going forward. Okay. Also, near the end of the month, we got the new moon and big time solar eclipse in Scorpio. I think this is around the 25th. So here we go. This is unpredictability and breakthroughs not known before. So we're gonna see a lot of the shadowy things that come up to be transformed, to allow us to really get clarity, clear things out, and to move in the direction that we need to go through, right? Scorpio energy is very transformational with the solar eclipse, right? We're bringing into this shadowy aspect that are being dragged out of us, especially on the planetary side, being massaged out, and for us to deal with and to break through and to move forward. A lot of that breakthrough, a lot of this transformation too, I think will happen on the healing side, both individually and I would say ancestrally. We have Samhain, or what many of us have known as the hijack version of Halloween. The veil is going to be very thin mid-month to the end of the month, right? This is a very this is a very thin point in terms of the veil of our cycle on this planet, where intuition, spirit communication, or just the higher realms and our ability to connect are much stronger and more intense. And I feel a lot of that intensity is going to help you with your own healing, but also healing the things that you have incarnated with from a ancestral, as a family heritage, as just a life parallel collection of all the things that you've gone through this month, especially as we're clearing out of this retrograde energy. We're moving in direct. We're able to move forward with some healing in that. So I expect with many of you might be able to have this kind of breakthrough with some of your abilities to heal some of the karma within you in terms of your ancestral lineage, and as well as the I would say family lineage that you were incarnated into as well. And just be mindful of that, being able to connect and to speak with your spirit guides to help you work through these things as new truths come out and you get shifted into a different direction. All right. So those are some of the astrology events, things that I think are really going to aid this fresh energy, fresh new beginnings that are going to be driven by new truths that come up personally, new truths that come up from the collective aspect. There were a couple visions that I had that I want you all to be mindful of. And, again, if this doesn't resonate with you, feel free to just drop it. These just happen to be my truths. A couple visions that came up that I think will be very interesting to see how they play out. One was I saw massive riots and protests, but this seemed really centered around the Eurozone. So if you're watching this in the Eurozone, just be mindful. I think this is going to be very predominant in the month of October as bigger truths come up and things are brought to light, and we're dealing with the idea of having to transform a lot of the structures in the government, financial, education, social, etc. So I expect more riots happening, more civil unrest happening, but it felt like it was primarily focused on the Eurozone. I also saw something around airplanes. I don't know. I was just seeing airplanes. I don't feel like it has to do with anything traumatic in the sense of crashes or hijacking, whatever. It felt more like airlines going through some trouble, lots of cancellations. So if you have plans to go on an airplane, you had plans to do something with flying, just be mindful that there might be some, I would say, some issues regarding flights and cancellations, etc. this month. Okay. So the overall theme I want you to think about for this month is the idea that you have the keys to start. You have the keys to the kingdom, as they would say, to make the changes that you want. You're starting to get some of that winds to you, or tailwinds, as we're speaking to around planes here. We're talking about the tailwinds that are going to aid you in your movement here. And that's because there's going to be a hunger in knowing. There's going to be a thirst to understand. People are really going to start seeking answers to themselves this month. And maybe some of you have been plateaued, or you've gone through this observational period of September, and you're really looking to break through and start anew. That means that people are going to seek answers, and the universe may have that manifest as mentors or someone to help you aid in that process. All right, so it'd be a good time perhaps to get into the idea of new classes around spiritual work, emotional work, or mental goal planning, etc., or just maybe even physical things to get your body moving, get that stuck energy out if you're looking for breakthroughs, and to clear some of that stuck energy within you, and that will help bring up that stuff on the etheric end of things. And then I think this means for many of us who are healers, we're probably going to see pick up in business, pick up as people are starting to seek to understand, seek to be heard, and this plays into the idea of the civil unrest. People are going to be really in a place of unrest, in dissonance, and I would say just a place of angst and anxiety. And they may reach out to you as the healer to help them break through these things. You'll have the key for them to their kingdom, or keys to what they need to break through their blocks as they're trying to move forward in anew out of this energy. Okay? And what I can tell you is from what I've been seeing, it's just that this plays into the riot, this plays into the anger, this plays into this sense of just this battling conflict energy. I feel that many of you are really irritated, or those who aren't really on the path, you're going to see collective irritability, and you'll see it, and it's already happening. Just people are just blowing up over small stuff, and you're just like, whoa, that seems like a fairly big reaction, or we don't really need to go into that direction, when it's just something that can be easily solved with just having a little bit of communication. No, these people are going to be irritable, they're going to be almost irrational, and they're going to be angry, and if you feel like that, and you feel like you can't get a break, and you feel like you just like, oh God, I've got this energy with me. I don't know what to do, and I don't know why it's happening. I don't know why I feel like this. My recommendation, go take some yoga classes. Take a class or a workshop that can help you move through these things. And this is why I think more people are probably going to look for ways to help heal these things within them, as well as the ancestral stuff, as well as the family dynamics that they're in. A lot of that truth's coming up, and they're going to really need to search for a mentor. Okay, and that's because we're getting this real new mental clarity, real new clarity and truth energy that's coming in this month. And then there's a big swing of the sword that's cutting like all the clutter, that's cutting all the cobwebs and the spider webs that's got us caught up in the things. You're going to see some ability and space to clear through and new understanding and focus. Okay, so mental focus, refocusing, re-engaging with what you feel passionate about, re-engaging with the things that you have had your goals and mindset to. And hopefully last month you were a little bit more introspective, you were more observing in your approach, which allowed you to really clear out some of the things that need to be shifted around and realign, and this month will allow you to move in and to move on. So I had talked about like, hey, don't do contracts, don't sign a lot of paperwork, don't make big decisions last month. This month you'll probably be able to have some of that energy and to go forward with that, and to really sense the intuition, the veil as your spirit team saying, hey, this might be the good time to start working on those things, really pushing those things out. Because the feminine side of us, and this is another theme that's coming out, the feminine side of us is really being called forth this month. And that means a lot more gentleness, a lot more nurturing attention to ourselves, a lot more paying attention to the divine feminine energy, which is the intuition, which is your heart, right? Which is more about the feeling aspects and being quiet and listening to that. I feel specifically that many of you will need to, in regards to this divine feminine energy and listening to our intuition and in the Samhain energy and the veil being thin, I feel specifically many of you will need to bring forgiveness back into your life or your practice this month, especially forgiveness towards ourselves, all right? Forgiveness to ourselves, but also having the compassion and the ability to forgive those on the opposite end of your spectrum in terms of beliefs, values, and who they are. We're getting this intensity of the, that riot energy I talked about, those who are really irritable, seeking for, to help, to be healed, etc. This is really going to need to bring in this nurturing energy for us to be able to forgive those who've trespassed us, forgive those who haven't been able to wake up and see themselves in their own creation, and for us to hold that space in the nurturing way and compassion that many of us healers are aware of. But in that sense also for ourselves to be forgiving and compassionate to ourselves and not to be so hard on ourselves, and also to give us that patience and forgiveness for all the things that we have been going through. This is not an easy time. Although we signed up for it, although we knew that we could do it, perhaps we didn't truly understand what it was going to be like in actuality in terms of the intensity, the difficulty, the pain, the suffering, the heartache, right? That is for sure some of the forgiveness. Forgiveness for failing to do something. Forgive yourself for not being perfect as a mother. Forgive yourself for not being perfect as a father or perfect as a friend or employee. Forgive yourself for your imperfections, because those imperfections are perfect in the moment as a divine being. All right? So remember this intuitive Empress feminine side that is being called forth, and forgiveness is going to be a big part of that, as well as the intuitive side of you, which is the heart, the feeling, really allowing those things to help guide you in your actions and your decisions this month as the veil, as Samhain is approaching us. And then you also think about that in terms of the cycle where we are in our season, right? The ability to forgive and to let go, to let yourself go from the situation, but also to let others be released from your cage of emotional trapment, right? The trees here in the northern hemisphere are changing colors. The air is getting cooler and the foliage is changing in the trees. Mother Nature, as a divine feminine embodiment, is showing you through nature how to let go. So the funny thing of how that plays out, the coincidences, right? As we all know, no such thing as coincidences, to see the trees let go of their leaves and the things that has helped them grow and be who they are. It's time to let some of those go, and that is through forgiveness. So reconnecting with nature will also aid in this process in forgiveness. Reconnecting with Mother Nature through the waters, go for a hike, go for a walk, or just being outside, and the trees will show you how to forgive and let go easily. All right. And again, like I said, the Samhain energy is going to help you with that forgiving and healing, both the ancestrally, the family dynamic, as well as what you have incarnated and dealt with in your personal life here as well. So feel free to ask for some assistance as we're talking about the mentor piece of this. You also have help from your spirit team, although they can't necessarily come in and change things for you because of free choice. You can just ask for their assistance to show you how where you need healing or whatever it is. Ask your guides for assistance, and they will help you mentor you through this stuck energy and getting out of that and healing and moving forward. All right. As part of this whole, you have the keys to the kingdom piece, you all are tapped in. You all have the tools and the skills available to you to make the things that you want happen. It's no longer needed for you to rely on other folks here, folks. You don't need to rely on your friends. You don't need to rely on your parents. You don't need to rely on other people to be dependent on before you can make a decision. You can start doing things on your own. You have all of that. So this month is really in creative empowerment for you to do things that you want to do or make steps towards that, given the energies coming out of that. What the issue is around the self-worth and self-doubt issues. That's stopping you. That's stopping the lot of you from doing what you want to do, right? So the self-doubt, the self-talk, the self-worth issues, that's healing that needs to be done. That's healing that needs to be released and let go of so that you can make the steps, so you can just cast those things aside and just do it. Just do it, because you'll never know whether or not you'll be successful. You'll never know whether or not that is the right thing for you if you don't at least try. And the energies in spirit was saying, you got the tools. You've got the keys to the kingdom. You can make these things happen. You are empowered to make that choice now as the energy has shifted, and for you to go forward and harmonize with these new truths about you and your authenticity and your sovereign empowerment to do that. So believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Trust who you are. Cast the doubts away. Move forward and go as towards your joys and your passion and peace in your life. All right. So those were some of the bigger themes. The shadow side of this all is that what may end up happening is because of the self-worth, self-doubt, because of this idea of the truths coming out, and maybe these truths you don't want to see. Some of you may end up getting distracted from doing the things that you need to do this month. And that may occur in the social networks. That may occur in socializing too much this month, or hanging out. I want to say you are going to distract yourself with hanging out with people that don't really serve you. Hanging out with people that aren't the right vibration for you, that drag you down, that distract you from doing the things that you should be doing, that is really good for you and aligns you with where your purpose, passion, and joys are. This means socializing and drinking. Beware of your alcohol use this month. Beware of your alcohol use this month. And I say that, which is, I'm just getting this message too, is like spirits, right? Be careful how much spirits you consume. That's going to distract you. That's going to bring in different spirits that are going to lead you in a different path when you really should be connecting, and maybe not being too much tapped into the alcohol and those kind of things. Really tapping into the higher vibrational spirits of your intuition and your spirit team and your guides to keep you on track and get the guidance you need, rather than tapping into these spirits that aren't the best thing for you as you go forward. It's not a bad thing to drink, but the flip side of that is that we could just not want to face the truths, and that leads us to distract ourselves with more alcohol or socializing when we really shouldn't be doing that, and it's not really in alignment for us going forward. Hopefully that resonates with you all. I will say, because of the energies that are coming up, because of what is transpiring this month, probably the two most active chakras in your body are going to be your root chakra and your heart chakra. Okay, those two are going to probably be the most active this month. I feel like the root chakra is going to be most active this month because as new truths, as new energies, as new direction, new energy, new shifts, and the idea of Samhain and the idea of transformational energy regarding the solar eclipse, the numerology and the astrology and the things that I've been seeing, visualizing, safety and security are going to be brought up through the root chakra. Many will feel the new ideas. Many will feel this sensation of wanting to do things, but you're going to be fearful of the uncertainty, and you're going to be like, I don't know if I want to break out of my comfort zone. I know there's new things for me. There's truths that should shift me in this direction, but I may pull inward because I don't want to face the truth, and that leads to having some disconnect within your, or blockages within your root chakra. All right. The same would go, I would say, in the heart. Heart and your heart chakra primarily may get affected here, partly because of acceptance. Acceptance for the relationships you're in, acceptance for the things that are happening in your life, and the ability to forgive. For a lot of you who aren't willing to forgive, you're going to have some blocks within the chakra, right? And that could cause, and then also we talk about the heart. That is the intuitive, divine, feminine area. This is, the heart is really around compassion, around love, around the feminine side of things. And that's what I say, like, this is being called forth. So this month, so you could feel some things happening in the chest area or your heart chakra. Physical signs to watch out for in terms of the root chakra that could give indication to some imbalance or some security and safety issue around the physical aspects of yourself. Watch out for your legs. Watch out for balance issues. Watch out for things happening in your knees. Watch out for pain, sciatica pain that's going down your left leg or your right leg. Watch out for your ankles. Watch out for your lower back pain, etc. In the heart, breathing issues, upper respiratory issues, right? Talking about chest, maybe chest colds, maybe some breathing issues. Or maybe you have issues with your hands and your arms. Those are all extensions of your heart. I feel like a lot of the things, at least from the heart standpoint, may happen on the right side of you because your body's trying to get you to stop doing things and forcing things, and to focus more on the inside of things before you take action and force things through the right side. So just be mindful, pay attention to your body through this, pay attention to your root, pay attention to the heart, because those are all dealing with new energy, safety, security, and the idea of the feminine side and forgiveness, and I think giving the energies in the numerologies, those are all just really powerful indications of what we're working with this month. So hopefully that helps you. Hopefully that rambling makes sense. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Follow me on my other social media platforms. I would really appreciate the love and support, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.